The moment Rasheeda Frost entered the spotlight, her hand resting gently on her growing belly, the entire room seemed to stand still. The sparkle in her eyes spoke of joy, hope, and a fresh start. A journey that hadn't been easy, but one she had fought through. The excitement in her voice was undeniable as she shared the news with the world. She was pregnant again with Kirk Frost's child. This wasn't just a casual announcement. For Rasheeda, it was a triumph. It was a reflection of her strength, her faith in love, and the deep connection she had with Kirk, despite their complicated past. The couple had weathered many storms throughout their marriage, betrayals, misunderstandings, and the weight of their tumultuous history. Yet, after everything, it seemed they were finally ready to build something beautiful together once more. "I'm thrilled to announce that Kirk and I are expecting again," Rasheeda said with a smile, her eyes shining with emotion as she spoke to the media, surrounded by the flashing of cameras.
But you haven't signed anything and he hasn't signed anything yet.
No.
Is that because are you guys still trying to work it out, or does it just make more sense for you guys to just be separated right now?
Well, the thing is, we've sat and had a conversation about trying to maybe not do it through attorneys and see if we can come to some type of agreement, that way. And at the same time, I also feel like, and it's not even the point of just trying to work it out, but I'm also like, I'm at a place where I'm like, okay, I pretty much kind of got the information, and am I ready to serve him with these papers? This is the first time something like this has happened in our marriage, and I'm feeling like, okay, is the answer immediately, although it's all this crazy stuff that's happened, is the answer immediately divorce, step into this place? Or is it, let's try to figure out if we're going to just separate and try to work out percentages, things like to that nature. So that's kind of where it is right now. Just maybe considering not having to do an actual divorce, but just at this moment, but just figuring out what we want to do and see if we want to go ahead and take it to the divorce line later. Or, that may not be the case. As of right now, who's to say? My main concern ain't even just the fact of filing the divorce. It's just about trying to, stay focused, not overstress myself, and get ready for this baby, whether he's a part of the situation or not.
It hasn't been an easy road, but we're pushing forward. Our love is stronger than ever, and this baby is truly a blessing, Kirk said, standing next to her, his expression one of pride that mirrored Rasheeda's. For all the wrongs he had committed in the past, wrongs that had nearly driven Rasheeda to her breaking point, this moment made everything feel worth it. This was his chance for redemption. This child symbolized hope for their future, marking a fresh start in their complicated relationship. It was proof that they were working through their issues, dedicated to rebuilding and strengthening their family. As news of the announcement spread, social media buzzed with reactions. Fans, friends, and critics all had their say. Some sent their congratulations, praising the couple for overcoming their challenges, while others questioned the timing and the true nature of their relationship. But for Rasheeda and Kirk, the opinions of others didn't matter. They had stood by each other through the storm, and now they were focused on the journey ahead. While Rasheeda and Kirk were celebrating their happy news, not everyone shared in their excitement. In fact, Jasmine, the woman who had been at the center of much of the turmoil in their marriage, was utterly heartbroken. Jasmine had always been a complicated figure in Kirk and Rasheeda's lives. She had entered the picture years ago, bringing with her a whirlwind of emotions and conflict. The question of the paternity of her child had been a major point of tension between the couple, and although they had managed to heal, the unresolved emotions and wounds from the past still lingered. Jasmine had once convinced herself that Kirk would ultimately choose her. She had believed that their connection was more than just a fleeting affair, but over time, that illusion slowly shattered. Her relationship with Kirk had never turned out to be the fairy tale she had envisioned, and the reality had been far more painful than she could have ever anticipated. As Rasheeda's announcement echoed, Jasmine felt all the emotions she had long tried to bury rising to the surface. The past, the betrayal, the shattered hopes. Everything came rushing back in an overwhelming wave of pain. The reality of the situation hit her hard. She had spent so many years clinging to the belief that there was more to her connection with Kirk. And now, here they were, Rasheeda and Kirk stronger than ever, celebrating the arrival of a new baby while she was left alone to face the wreckage of her own broken dreams. Jasmine crumbled in private, away from the eyes of the public and the cameras. How could she not? She had given so much of herself to Kirk, pouring everything into their connection, only to find that in the end, it still wasn't enough. The future she had once dreamed of building with him was now unfolding elsewhere, and the weight of that reality was almost too much to bear. Alone in her apartment, her hands shook as she scrolled through the endless messages on her phone, texts from friends offering their condolences, and others from people who didn't understand the full story but felt compelled to take sides. None of it changed the painful truth. Kirk had moved on, and, more painfully, it was Rasheeda who had triumphed. Her mind replayed the memories. The moments when Kirk had promised he would always be there for her, when she had believed, even for a fleeting moment, that he truly cared. But now, those memories felt like distant dreams, a chapter that had long since closed. Rasheeda had won. She had fought for Kirk's love and succeeded in ways Jasmine never could. Tears streamed down Jasmine's face, unstoppable and raw. She had tried to be strong, tried to heal, but the pain ran too deep. It felt as though every bit of progress she had made over the years had been erased by this single announcement. It wasn't supposed to be like this, she murmured through her sobs. I was supposed to have a family. I was supposed to have everything I dreamed of. And now all I'm left with is a broken heart and the bitter sting of rejection. Kirk's attention had always been like a pendulum, swinging from one woman to another, leaving her in the middle. And now, the truth was clear. She was the afterthought, the mistake, the one who never got the fairy tale ending. Yet, as she cried, Jasmine knew deep down that this wasn't the end of her story. It was simply another painful chapter, and like all chapters, it would eventually close. She didn't know how long it would take to heal from this wound, but one thing was certain. The love she had for Kirk would never be enough to make him choose her. Meanwhile, Rasheeda and Kirk were moving forward, their hearts full of renewed hope. They had endured their fair share of struggles, but now they were doing what they had always believed was possible: building a family, mending the fractures in their relationship, and embracing their future. They had each other, and with the news of their baby on the way, it felt like they had everything they needed to make their family complete once again. The contrast between the two women, Rasheeda, at peace with the life she had fought for, and Jasmine, shattered by the remnants of her own dreams, was glaring, a painful reminder of everything that had been lost. But time has a way of healing wounds, even those that seem impossible to mend. Rasheeda and Kirk's journey was just beginning, while Jasmine would need to find her own way forward, learning from the past and, eventually, finding a way to release the pain that had shaped so much of her life. For now, the world was focused on Rasheeda and Kirk, celebrating their joy and the family they were creating. But for Jasmine, the path ahead was one of quiet introspection, piecing together the fragments of a life that had once felt whole, now shattered. The spotlight may have been on Rasheeda and Kirk, celebrating their future and the family they were building, but Jasmine's journey was far from over. It was a journey of healing, of rediscovering herself, and of learning to rise from the ashes of her own shattered dreams. The road would be long, but it was hers to walk. As time passed, perhaps, she would find the strength to release the past, embrace a new future, and create a life she could be proud of as well.